Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated solely to Green Lantern. I'm your host, Ralph. With me is Will from the Green Lanterns podcast. We're here to talk about Green Lantern number 26.
Yep.
Written by Jeremy Adams, who will be on here at this very time tomorrow.
What?
And art by VK and Marion. Yeah, dude, like I'm excited. I'm excited for tomorrow. Not that I'm not excited about today.
Yeah.
But like tomorrow.
I'm a regular on here.
Yeah. I mean, this is my first sort of guest that I've reached out to. Well, it's not the first guest I've reached out to. I've reached out to a lot of people who are involved with creating characters in the Green Lantern sphere. Like Nathan Fillion, obviously, I reached out to. That didn't work out just yet. Hoping I can get that done in time for Lanterns. And then some folks from Green Lantern, the animated series and stuff. But he's the first to be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So that's tomorrow at this very time. So everybody watching this, be sure to tune in tomorrow. Will, how are things? What any good news on the Green Lantern for the week?
I'm trying to think like what has popped up. I think it's mostly just been getting ready for the 2 comic drop today. And then we have, I think next week is another comic drop. Next month is 3 comics for us. And then the month after is 4. And then I think that's the last time we have 4 for a bit. Unless you're counting the new, I think it's Justice League Red.
Mm-hmm. Which I heard is good.
Simon Baz in it. It's a decent first story. I think DC does a really good job with their first issues overall. I read through that one a couple nights ago, and I thought, I'm not a huge Simon guy, but this issue was really good for him and for the other characters that were involved. And the end of the issue really picked up to the point where it's like, I think I'm definitely going to check out the second issue when it drops.
I don't have a show scheduled for next week, and last night before I went to bed, I decided to read Showcase 22. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, shit, I should just cover Showcase 22. Like, how fun would that be? But then at the same time, I'm like, maybe I should check out Justice League Red. I don't know. I don't know how much Simon involved, like, a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe that's something I'll cover since it's like a first issue. It's coming in. It'll probably come in like a week later. A review a week later, which usually I like to be like right on top of these things as they come out. But yeah, that sounds like I might do that.
Yeah,
I might do
that. It is the first issue is strongly like Simon Baz and Power Girl are the 2 like main characters of the issue. They split time at the beginning and then they're together at the end.
Yeah. I don't know. I can probably put up a poll. I think I'm able to put up polls. Also, maybe just in the comments, weigh in. Would you rather see me talk about Justice League Red or Showcase 22? I feel like at some point I would really like to discuss Showcase 22. It's one of those things that I just love. Every time I read it, it puts things in perspective for me. Like it really puts things in perspective as far as Green Lantern and where we are, and just sort of the basic discourse of everything sort of in comic book fandom. Like you read Showcase 22 and it's like squeaky clean, really sort of like good versus evil, like really kind of corny, like comic book. Like this is the origins of Hal Jordan. And I look at things now like YouTube comments and people going like apeshit about certain things, and like infighting and just like arguments. And I'm like, when I read Showcase 22, it sort of resets my thinking on like Green Lantern, because it's such a like Green Lantern came from such a place of like pure sort of corniness. So like
lots of comics are like that.
Yeah. And so it's like one of those things where it makes me realize like, hey, comics used to be called the funny books. And we're getting so many good stories now by like top notch writers that like any sort of like bitching and groaning I hear, I'm like, guys, like perspective. It is an art form. but at the same time, like, it's meant for fun. It doesn't need to be like insanely like just torn to shreds. So I'm just saying, everybody in my comments who are talking about whatever they're talking about on any of my shorts, just relax, guys. I posted that clip from last week's Peacemaker official Peacemaker podcast on Max of James Gunn talking with Frank Grillo about Peacemaker versus Green Lantern.
Yep.
And then they bring up like Superman and just the amount of like headbuttings and stuff. I'm just like, guys, like it's all phony baloney. Like, it's just fun. Like, it's fun to do the debates.
Yeah.
But people get really angry at each other and start like laying down facts, and it's like constructive. Could be,
and they should, because at the end of the day, Green Lantern would beat them, so it's fine.
Right. Listen.
Well, you just nailed one of the other ones, is that Peacemaker dropped and Guy Gardner does make an appearance in Season 2, Episode 1. So that was another big bit of new GL-ness. And then in subsequent interviews that James Gunn has done, he has made it's clear that critics were only shown the first 5 episodes. They weren't shown the full 8. And James continues to like beat the drum that there's some big reveals and big DC characters in those final 3 episodes. I know like the big prevailing theory is like Green Lantern adjacent, where people think Booster Gold is going to show up.
Right.
But I also think that leaves some wiggle room potentially for a Jon Stewart or a Hal Jordan to show up.
So the Jon Stewart one is the one I don't think I brought up. I did an episode last Friday. And if there's any Green Lantern that shows up in episode 2, I'll have an episode on Friday as well. Friday morning, 9 a.m. In the good universe, Chris Smith, Peacemaker, goes through a door where his brother was not killed, and his dad is kind of like nice to Chris and doesn't like hate him. And apparently Harcourt and Chris were together at some point. But now she's dating a jarhead. Now, I did a search on Google, and I typed in DC characters who are Marines.
Mm-hmm. And
I know James Gunn pulls pretty deep from the roster of DC characters. And so there's like two characters who are Marines that I've never heard of before. And that's not saying that he's not going to pull one of those characters if this Jarhead Marine shows up. But there's a third really famous Marine in the DC universe, and that's Jon Stewart. And we have an actor. We have an actor in the DCU that's already cast as Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
And if Aaron Pierre's in the show, if he's just Aaron Pierre as just Jon Stewart, not even Green Lantern yet, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. And
yeah, I'd be stoked for it.
Yeah. You'll have to call it. You'll have to call out from work to join me on that stream. Also, speaking of Aaron Pierre, some footage showed up on Twitter. Was it Green Lantern Updates? Is that the name of the Twitter account? I believe that's what it is. And someone had posted a video behind the scenes of Aaron Pierre on the set of Lanterns, sitting down between takes.
Yeah. It was in like an area where there's like, I don't think it was a jail because it seemed like it was outdoors, but it was like barred off.
It looks like that one area where it's like a street where we got that shot of the producers in the diner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It looks like that kind of street. Jon Stewart, again, not wearing a ring. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm assuming he'll get a ring at some point.
He's got
They did an awful lot of shooting not on location. They did we know that I was going to say Lars Ulrich. That's the drummer from Metallica.
Ulrich
Thompson was on the Warner Brothers lot shooting Sinestro, so I'm assuming that's green screen and some other sort of studio stuff. So I'm hoping like the majority of this stuff is that we're seeing without the ring is early in the show.
Yeah,
and we can get that ring on John like ASAP because, yeah, I don't know. We have Peacemaker end. It will end in 7 weeks, so we got about a month and a half more Peacemaker, and then soon after that, in October, is New York Comic Con.
I believe the final episode of Peacemaker airs during the like 3 or 4 day stretch that is New York Comic Con.
Okay. So I'm assuming since Lanterns is the next DC thing after Peacemaker, I'm assuming we're going to get some Lanterns news there. We have to get something. They've got to start rolling this stuff out.
And it's not going to be any updates on My Adventures with Green Lantern yet, if that's what people are looking for.
Yeah, because they're still casting that. And usually with those, they tend to do the animation after the voice acting. So it might be a while. I'm sure they have already started animation on like action scenes and stuff. But
I believe from what I have seen myself, the actual date to start doing the voice work is the end of September. So and that's to start the lead characters' lines.
Great. They're probably doing storyboards and stuff as we speak. So if there is any Green Lantern, my Adventures with Green Lantern news coming up, it'll probably be maybe we get a character sheet that shows Jessica and Kyle and Kilowog.
Yep. Maybe some voice actor announcements for who's
for
voicing
sure.
those. Yeah.
For sure. So, because I'm assuming like New York Comic Con's like the next big one for like a while, till like San Diego, which is usually July.
Yeah.
So
by then, Lantern should already be
out. Fingers crossed. Holy shit. We're so close. We're so close, and I'm just dying for Peacemaker to like finish up so I could see what James Gunn's got, you know, up his sleeve, and then B, like, it'll be time to see what all the hubbub is about Lanterns. I reached out to Garrett Dillahunt on Instagram. I don't know if that'll happen. I'll probably go through his agents to see if I can't get in touch with him. Again, me and my wife have been watching Raising Hope, and he's just amazing on that show. He's so funny.
Yeah.
I think he would be a fun guy to talk to. At the same time, he seems like a guy who would let things slip.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he posted on Instagram this past week, like some classic, like, I think it was like Ivan Reis art or something, in his stories. And I got so fired up. Because, I mean, it was like classic, you know, it's like Green Lantern costumes, white gloves, you know, it's like, it was like that. Cause I'm getting really anxious about all of the Earth One artwork that they've been showing for the show. Mm-hmm. It's really starting to make me anxious. I need anything. I just need to see like the emblem on a chest of a costume, or a power battery, or a white glove, or even if it's not a white glove, I need to know what it's gonna look like. And I kind of need that now, because I try to squash any, because there's a lot of people who are speculating about the show, and usually the speculation is negative. Kyle Chandler's too old. That means he's gonna die. The speculation is off the charts, and it's usually negative, and it's getting into my head now too. It's like, well, why aren't they showing us stuff? Like, where is I have faith in it. I really have faith in it, but at the same time, it's like I need something, just a visual something.
I think we'll get there. I'd also like to. I've been saying this online for some time, and I watched your Green Lantern Spotlight with Chad.
With Chad, yeah.
And he said it out loud. But basically, if you're somebody who in your core believes that Kyle Chandler is too old to play Hal Jordan, you probably also have to acknowledge that Nathan Fillion is in that same mold, too old to be playing comic Guy Gardner. And I think we can all also acknowledge that despite that age, Nathan Fillion killed it as Guy Gardner. He was excellent.
And while I'm watching him on screen, even in Lanterns, or even in a Peacemaker, not once was I like, that person's too old. Not once. Because I'm sitting there watching, and I've seen Nathan Fillion in a ton of stuff. I'm sitting there watching this guy, and I'm like, that's Guy Gardner. Like, I'm not thinking that's Nathan Fillion. It's crazy. And I think I got to chalk it up to the bowl cut, because I think it transforms his face enough to where I don't think like that I'm watching Nathan Fillion or Detachable Kid or Captain Hammer or any of his other roles, Captain Mal from Firefly. Like, he's Guy Gardner. When I watch him, I'm like, there's Guy Gardner. It makes me happy. And that's all that I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about his age.
Now, the other thing I want to preach some patience on is the marketing for Lanterns. If you look at what projects have come out of the DCU, James Gunn's DCU so far, that's Creature Commandos, Superman, and Peacemaker. James has a direct hand in Superman and Peacemaker, and I think he did the script for Creature Commandos before handing it off to the people who actually like make it and do all the work on it.
Right.
James is uber active on social media, so he's putting stuff out all the time for all these different shows and movies, so it's like it's free marketing for them, but you're used to seeing this barrage of marketing for anything James Gunn is involved in, because he posts like 14 times a day on social media.
Yeah.
This is like the first thing coming out that he didn't write the script for. He's not an executive on. He's not directing any episodes of it as far as I'm aware. It's a completely different group, and I think that will get more of like a regular Hollywood TV show, like promo type stuff, where it'll be as the show gets closer and they've announced like the date that it's going to drop on. I think we'll get more and more and more like regular style marketing. And then I'm sure at that point, James Gunn will also be helping promote it.
Like, I don't know what the quality of the show is going to be, but there's a show called Andor, which is part of Lucasfilm. It's part of Star Wars canon, but a completely different group of people outside of Filoni and Favreau made that show, and it was really, really good. And I'm hoping Lanterns was kind of already in motion by the time James Gunn came on board. There's been a lot of starts and stops. There's been all kinds of like, whatever. There's been all kinds of like shit going on with Lanterns where it just doesn't happen. They announced it years ago. But once James came over, it started to find its footing. And I feel like I'm hoping he has some sort of influence on it as far as design. Because so far, Superman looks comic accurate. Guy Gardner, although he's not dressed in his classic Green Lantern uniform, it feels very comic booky. It doesn't feel like out of the realm of DC. But like when you have Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific and all these guys like Peacemaker, and even if you look at the Suicide Squad, everybody had very bright, very comic booky costumes. I'm hoping that is something that James injected into the team that's running Lanterns. And it's just like, here we go. Because the speculation was, like, they keep on showing the Earth 1 artwork, and it has Hal Jordan with the beard every single time. And then we started seeing Kyle Chandler with the beard, and we're like, fuck, they're doing Earth 1. As much as I like Earth 1, I want, like, a Jeff Johns style, Ivan Reese style of Green Lantern story in live action. And when they did drop that first picture and Kyle Chandler was clean shaven, I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, at least it's not one for one Earth 1. And I'm that teaser image has been around for a while. and I'm starting to like really need to get something new. Because the magic of that image, as much as I love seeing it, still I'm just like, okay, I need something more.
It's still all we've gotten. It's not just been like a slow drip feed. It's just been this one thing, and that's really all we've gotten.
And all the leaked photos are all of like just Aaron Pierre, and that's it.
Yep. And obviously it's all outdoor stuff because that's the only spot where people can get any of this.
Yeah. American Misfits here from Sonoma County, California. I'm also in California. I'm down in Anaheim. Thanks for joining.
I'm also in North Carolina on the other coast.
Right. Man, okay. So let's get into this. Green Lantern 26, written by Jeremy Adams. Again, will be a guest on this show live. That's the thing, is this show's always live. So if you have a question for Jeremy Adams, if you enjoyed Green Lantern 26 like I did, and you want to bring something up, right there in the chat, you pop a question in there, I'll be able to pass that along to him. So you'll want to be here tomorrow. Hit your bell notification. It'll be at 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Just we'll be out of here an hour before Peacemaker episode 2 drops. So look forward to that. Will, what are your thoughts on Green Lantern 26?
So I didn't get to read it till later in the day just because my work had me actually go to a location today versus just being able to work from home. And I got a baby now, so I can't just be up at midnight reading these as soon as they drop like I was doing previously.
Yeah.
So I was on Reddit and X and seeing everybody else's reaction to the issue first, and there was a lot of negativity, and I was very worried going into this issue. And once I picked it up, start reading through it, I deep down I loved this issue. I thought this issue was great. It hit all the notes that I needed them to hit on it. I do have some questions about some art. Not anything like negative, just questions.
Okay.
Because it's like I'm not sure why this thing is happening. We can get into it as we get like further into the comic, but not that one. Not that one. That was a little weird too, but that's not it. No.
but he's done that before, right? The shoulder emblems on Kyle, which is a weird, like, it's just adding a design to the character model is strange.
Which I think it's happened in this run before too.
Yeah, it has.
But it's not happened every time Kyle's worn his regular getup. It's not been every time he's in his black with the white and his symbols here. He hasn't always had those on the shoulders. At least I don't think so.
I think it's a VK Marion thing.
That's what it might be, is when he's doing the character.
And they do put Jessica in something else too.
Yes. Yep.
It's a strange thing. I'm really curious. I should probably get into this tomorrow because I don't like there's like three main artists sort of working on Green Lantern. Germanico, VK Marion, and Fernando Passarin.
Yep.
And then a couple of other guys will float around over on Core. But it is weird that there's this sort of difference, like just in like design. Like there should be character sheets. So
they're consistent.
I love the Kyle Rayner costume, the original, so much, and I'm so glad it got brought back into the fold. That it's like, why I don't add stuff. It was like, I love that costume. Like just leave it as is. So that's my only thing with the art. It's not the art style itself, because I think VK Marion, I really like his artwork. It has a lot of energy to it, almost like anime. Yeah. Like it feels like it's moving.
That's what I like about it.
But the shoulder things, I'm like, can you just erase those? Because I don't really care for them. What art thing do you have to talk about?
So it's like part of the story is as the issue goes further and further on, like the characters go through the whole source wall, they start regaining their powers back, they partner with the entities, which is like this huge cool thing. And I always say this every time, but I'm a sucker for like the the big art pages that have all these different colors of the different entities on it, or like all of our heroes standing there in their costumes. Like, those are the shots that I really, really dig. And as these characters go through this issue, you have Hal Jordan wearing his Green Lantern costume.
Right.
That we've seen him in this whole run, and I'm pretty sure it's been consistent where it's like they're not sleeves, but it's like the green stops here, and then it's all like a black.
It's not on the shoulders.
Kyle has his regular costume on, except for his does have the shoulder logos now.
Yeah.
Everybody else is in their Green Lantern stuff, except for Carol, who's in her Star Sapphire outfit, which makes sense. Right. And she's got her Star Sapphire, the regular logo on the chest that we are used to. When the characters start partnering with these other entities and they take on these other emotions, if you look at their costumes, like if you zoom in on Sinestro's chest, when Sinestro is Red Lantern Sinestro, it's still the Green Lantern logo.
Okay.
When Guy is in a different core, it's still the Green Lantern logo. And same thing with Kilowog, and I think Jess was yellow. If you get a shot of their chest, they're in an all-yellow outfit now, but the logo on the chest is the regular Green Lantern logo.
Okay.
They didn't get like their own, like if you were, Hope, you don't have the Hope logo. You still have your Green Lantern logo on this one. So I was a little bit confused, like how they were determining. Yeah, like I'm just looking at the shot of Guy right now, and he's got all purple clothing now, but it's the regular. Yeah, so that's Sinestro right there on the screen that Ralph is showing you guys, but it still has the regular GL logo.
Maybe because they're not true red or
that's what I was thinking.
Lanterns.
Maybe you can ask him about it tomorrow.
Maybe I can. Yeah, I should probably jot that down, because when you're a new Lantern, you're in training. You don't earn your emblem until you complete your training. So they're the white circles. You just have the white circle.
Yep.
And then later you earn your emblem. So maybe it's just they're not truly trained or fully have become that Lantern.
Yeah.
So that logo, that emblem doesn't come through. It could be that. It could be like from a story thing, that's how they decided to do it. Or it could be a thing where before it got to the colors, they're like, oh, what if each person, when they got the entity, turned into their color, but the art was already done where everyone was in their Green Lantern outfit.
Yeah.
So who knows? I can ask tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if he'll know, because that's more of an art thing, not a writer's thing.
Again, I want to get to the bottom of that too, because I will ask him about the Interceptor.
Yes.
And I feel like that's an art thing that happened that he caught, not the editorial staff, and that was like, just keep doing it that way and I'll fix it because I know Aya's coming.
Yeah. And to be clear, neither Ralph nor myself we're not pointing fingers at anybody. We're just curious, like, is this something that was written in advance that they knew that they wanted to have, like, this moment when Aya comes back, she can kind of have this funny moment where she's like, why are you guys driving it backwards? Or is it just something that as he wrote it, and then the people who were working on it doing the art, they weren't as familiar with it as he is, or some of us, and it was just wrong, and they caught it as they went. It's just, it'd be just cool to know from, like, the creative's standpoint, like, how do they go about, was this planned, or is it just something that they caught? How do they catch it? Like, what's that conversation like? Like, it's not a huge deal. Yeah. It's corrected now. They made it make sense via the story, so it works. But it's just, if you could just figure out, like, how that conversation goes about, like, it'd just be nice to know.
Yeah.
Not blaming anybody. Nobody's in trouble. We're not throwing hate or anything.
No. It's honest questions. I'm really curious to know, because it was one of those things that for so long, you heard me say it on every issue, was like, man, it's really bugging me that this Interceptor is backwards. So to get some clarification would be nice. Christian is back. Christian showed up a couple weeks ago. Had not started the Jeremy Adams run. Sorry, Jeremy Adams, a guy I know. Just started the Jeremy Adams run after we suggested to him. He said he had the books, he just hadn't started yet. He said he started. He says they haven't seen Hal having this much fun in years. Super fun start. Thank for the recommendation. Dude, totally. You're going to love it. And I'll give you another recommendation when the time comes. I'm not sure exactly when. It's around issue 15 or so. That's when Green Lantern Corps starts coming into the fold. So I would recommend grabbing Green Lantern Corps because that's been a lot of fun. It's a really enjoyable book. I don't know if you're reading these. I think you said you actually were getting them physically. I think they're only $3.99. So Green Lantern Corps isn't as much of an investment as far as it's not going to hit your wallet as hard. But the way it's been sort of folded into to the regular Green Lantern run, definitely jump on Green Lantern Corps when that story starts to pick up there. And I'm pretty sure in when you read the issues, it'll say like Kyle's story continues in Green Lantern Corps #1 out next month or something like that. Mm-hmm. Go pick up Green Lantern Corps. We're up to 7 issues, I think. And it's kind of really a nice way to sort of like flesh out the world and let people know. He's reading them in volumes, but on the DC app to catch up. I only pick up a few titles physically. Yeah. Same. However you do it, I only do digital. I've done digital for like the last 12 years, just because I don't have a lot of room for shelf space. So I have I have 2 shelves of Green Lantern hardcovers, and that's it. The rest is all digital. It just saves space. But I highly recommend jump on Green Lantern Corps as soon as it says, "Hey, check out Green Lantern Corps," and they just switch back and forth from title to title. So much fun, especially if you're a fan of Kyle, John, Jessica, Simon, Guy, all those other dudes that aren't Hal Jordan. They're all living over there, and sometimes they come over to the main book. But I highly recommend it. Check it out. So, yeah. Hopefully, you're not getting spoiled here.
If you are, you'll still enjoy it as you go through it.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that people didn't like this issue. There's not a whole lot of I don't know how to say this. I'll say it this way instead. This is definitely an action-based issue. It's all action-based. There's a lot of exposition. There's stuff in there that I can see would be considered retconning, saying how, what the entities did with Kyle, and they made him lose his memory, or in the process of what they did with Kyle, that he sort of lost his memory, or he didn't have those memories with him. So they kind of set the record straight. The entities are a little bit different because they mentioned that they killed Parallax. Parallax is dead, and this is almost like a new Parallax.
That was one of the critiques that people were saying. Was they were questioning, when did Parallax die?
Right.
And then most of the critique is been pacing. They said that this issue felt like they were kind of just rushing through, trying to wrap up the storyline with the Starbreakers, which is not over yet.
No. We should have a few more. I don't read the solicits, but I feel like we should have at least a few more, because it says the next issue. It sounds like it's the entities versus the Starbreakers on Oa.
When you think about it, though, if this was Hal Jordan versus the Starbreakers, I would expect the fight with them to, take a significant chunk of time. If this is Kyle Rayner versus the Starbreakers, same thing. If it's just 1 or 2 Green Lantern Corps members going up against this whole group of Starbreakers, I'd expect it to take some time too. But the Starbreakers have been around for 15 issues at this point.
Yeah.
But also, this is a team-up issue. This issue that we're going through here, you have the entities as part of it, but you also have a writer for each of the entities. We have Sinestro here, Jess is here, Kilowog, Kyle as a White Lantern, Hal. We have the best of the best here, it shouldn't be something that takes 3, 4, 5 issues to win this fight with them and to kind of like see them running away by the end of the issue.
I'm holding Sinestro Core War, the hardcovers, which includes Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps. Not very big. It's not very big.
Yeah,
it's probably somewhere around 14 issues, which is pretty standard. And you're saying that the Starbreakers have been around 14 issues.
Yeah, they've been around for a chunk of time now.
So, like, this is basically what we're looking at here. The Sinestro Core War, which ended up opening a whole universe of other stuff, like Blackest Night. So we're just getting the tip of the iceberg on this, I believe. I believe that the Starbreakers and this Fractured Spectrum, I think, is something that is going to continue. I don't know how the Lanterns are going to beat the Starbreaker once it sounds like they're going to Oa to fight them. But it doesn't mean it's over.
Correct.
It doesn't mean it's over.
Right.
And I could talk to Jeremy Adams tomorrow, because one of the things I want to know is, like, I tried to have him on last month, but Comic-Con was coming up and he had deadlines to do. I'm curious to know where he's at writing.
Mm-hmm.
Because these things take a while to, like, draw. Like, is he on Green Lantern issue, like, 35?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I saw a post on Threads from, I believe it was Scott Snyder, who's doing Absolute Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And he had said something, I think they're up to like issue 11 or 12 of Absolute Batman now. And somebody like was asking him, how far ahead have you plotted out? And I think he said something like between 33 and 35 issues are plotted out already. Like even though 10 or 11 are out, there's still 20 something more that he's already basically written that they've got in the pipeline.
So I can't grab it, but I have a ton of Blackest Night hardcovers. Blackest Night was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So just to put things in perspective, like if this is Starbreakers is a major event that's crossing over between both Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps, is roughly around the size of the Sinestro Core War. If you think that it's rushed, if you think it's quick, like, listen, these guys probably won't be going away, but it could be setting up something bigger. So
yeah. I never viewed the Starbreakers as like the be all end all, like they were going to be the big bad of this.
Yeah, like Starbreakers are kind of like, they're like kind of dorky. Like it's not like I don't like. Yeah. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for like these Lanterns to like beat the Starbreakers, leaving this kind of void of this Fractured Spectrum there, and like Sinestro just popping in and taking over.
Something.
Like
we know the run's not going to end.
Sinestro's been awfully nice this entire run. Like he's been playing ball with the Lanterns, and I know that the Guardians aren't really hugely involved with this.
Correct.
And I know that Sinestro just butts head with the Guardians, rightfully so. I believe Sinestro is right. I feel like the Guardians are not good. But I mean, he's Sinestro. Like, he's going to take advantage of this stuff.
Yeah, he's not going to want to play along and have to follow orders and be bossed around for too much longer. He's
sitting there riding in the Interceptor, not saying a whole lot. And that's not Sinestro. Sinestro he's plotting something. We just don't know yet. And I don't know why everyone's ignoring Sinestro. Like, he's going to do something. He's got his hands on a new Parallax right now.
Yeah. So just kind of going back to r/Green Lantern, where they're having the discussion thread about this issue. When the topic of Parallax came along, somebody was saying, when did Parallax die? First person said that Parallax never died. He's just been missing. And then a reply to them said, I'm trying to remember what happened to him during Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Sinestro was bonded to him, but I think their bond was broken at some point. And then the last two guys say The last time I saw Parallax was in the two-part story that crossed over between Hal and the Corps and Superman, and Parallax was trying to get Superman to protect him from Sinestro, and we hadn't seen him since. And then the last person said, I believe the last Parallax appearance was in the 30th anniversary 0-hour issue last year. The issue ended with Parallax saying it was free and it was flying away.
Okay. So it's the assumption that Parallax has been dead.
Yeah.
So it's not, they're not saying Parallax died as like fact.
And these entities, with their fear of what's happening, created this newer entity that we're seeing here right now. Maybe that'll be the thing. Maybe they come back, they clear through this, and then Parallax, the real one, decides to intro and show back up.
Yeah. It's strange. But there's got to be a reason for it. And again, why is Sinestro being so good? Like, these two things for me, I'm like, something's up with these two things. I think they have to do with each other.
But in terms of like the rest of the issue, I have no complaints. I love seeing all of the characters together. I enjoyed like the shots where they're getting their costumes back on. Hal being the one that breaks through and is like, guys, they're trying to impose upon us and like take over us and use us, but like we need to use them. Like they need us just as much as like we got to team up for this. And to do so, like they've got to pair them off, where each person here has to basically take over riding and controlling one of the entities so that they can break through the source wall and fight the Starbreakers, except for Kyle. Kyle doesn't have to do that because our boy had just an awesome like glow up shot going from green to white. I think he called it the White Nova. It's like his version of like going Super Saiyan for people who are big into Dragon Ball. Like he just looked awesome, and it was what a show of power. I
think VK Marion is a fan of Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I loved all of that so much. The chains to get attached to all them, so our heroes can hop on them, and then even just the fight itself. Like again, Hal doesn't always get credit for being as smart as he is. He does a lot of stuff that's like by the seat of his pants, and he's reacting to things as they're happening. That happens here, but his reaction like figures out, oh, their power is coming from their ring. So, like, what if we mess up their ring? I thought they were going to try to destroy the rings. He took another route that was pretty cool, where he made, like, an anime-style sword and slices through the guy's wrist to remove the ring from him.
Dude.
And then that was the shot where now Sinestro is like, what pisses me off, because he's in Red Lantern form now, is that Hal is getting to be the person with all this glory and have all this fun. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to take off a hand. That's how we're going to start destroying these rings. So it's like there's so much action in this issue. Yeah. Kyle has these just amazing looking, beautiful panels. We get to see all of the entities. We see all of the heroes that we know, mostly as greens, but then, you know, midway through the comic, they get like, you know, Guy's not a green anymore. Sinestro's not a green. Like, they take on all these other ones to see the colors. Just everything about, like, the whole middle and lower portion of this issue was just chef's kiss for me. Yeah. So much.
It's tough because the way you read these comics, you read, like, what, 22 pages or something a month. And, like, you can talk about pacing, but I tell you, anybody like Christian who is just catching up now, like he's saying, he's just reading them in volumes. He says it's so easy to read. It's so easy to read it on the iPad. I'm sure he's blasting through these stories because really, like, diehard Green Lantern fans are going to sit here and read it month to month, and we're getting really good stories, but at the same time, it's part of a bigger thing. So reading it as a, like, whoever comes in like next year and reads this as a trade paperback or is able to read multiple issues at a time, I don't think the pacing's bad. I think this is a great action set piece in the middle of a larger story, you know.
Yeah,
Like
I think a couple issues ago, we had one where there was significantly less action, and it was a lot more story building. And
I think it was Green Lantern Corps 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and you're going anytime there's a long run going on and a larger story being told, you're going to have that. Not every issue can just have this trajectory. There's only so much. Like, that's what the MCU in theaters was going through. Like, once they hit a certain point, it's like, how do you top this? You can't. So you have to come down for a reset, kind of start over. There's going to be issues that are faster, issues that are slower, some that's more story, some that's more action. And I feel like this issue being an action issue, so close to the one that was just like more of a story-based issue, to me, it's great pacing. It's
if you take the Superman movie that James Gunn directed and you split it up into 7 parts, I'm sure people would complain about, like, oh, the part where they go into the pocket dimension.
Yeah.
But as the full story, it's like, that's a really fun sequence. But yeah, it's only this much of the full story. So at some point, you have to have bits of the story that's action. And again, it comes right off the heels of Green Lantern Corps, which was, again, 2 weeks ago. Like, I bet you if you were to read these in like 4-issue chunks, if you were to take 2 Green Lantern issues and 2 Green Lantern Corps issues and read them all at once as, like, 80 pages or 90 pages, like, it'll be a much different experience than sitting down for like 10 minutes, blasting through 22 pages and then moving on. It's really one of the things, like, if I'm a big fan of the comic Invincible.
Invincible's great.
Invincible, it's amazing. And it was one of those things where I didn't start reading it as soon as it came out. I was like maybe like 5 or 6 trades in when I started reading it. So I read the 5 and 6 trades in like maybe a weekend. I was like, this was great. And then I had to wait for the monthlies. And it was agonizing because you could just blast through one in like 7 minutes tops. Like, Invincible's such an easy read. And then that's it. It's like, fuck, now I gotta wait. It's like watching your favorite TV. It's like watching Peacemaker. Like, after last week, I was dying. I was like, I need to know more, but I have to wait the week. So reading it month to month, it's tough. It's tough. But again, coming off the heels of Green Lantern Corps being, mostly dialogue driven, like, listen, think of it as both. Maybe you should just wait. Maybe before I read Green Lantern Corps in 2 weeks, I'll wait till Green Lantern 27 comes out, read both of those together. It might be a different experience. Of course, I'm not going to do that for the channel, but like, I'm just saying as a suggestion, that could be a thing to do. But I think the pacing was fine.
I have to issue a correction.
Oh.
While Hal was the person who thought, let's just cut off their whole hand versus trying to destroy the ring, it was Kyle himself, while charging his ring, figured out that the ring is like where they were getting their power from as well. So it was Kyle who figured it out, not Hal. Okay. Kyle's and I have no problems with Kyle ever being like given more of a platform. So that's my guy. Love Kyle so much, and I think Jeremy's done such a good job handling. You look around media in general, like in the DCU right now, we know we're getting Jon Stewart, Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan. No mention of Kyle. He will make an appearance in My Adventures with Green Lantern, but he's not the lead character in that. So Kyle often gets pushed to like the side, and he gets to be like a support character for everybody. But in this run, Jeremy's done a great job of making Hal feel like a main character, as well as making Kyle feel like a main character as well.
Right. I heard someone wrote on one of the comments on one of my shorts today about how doing Kyle in a movie would cost so much money because of the intricate constructs he makes, which could be a thing. I don't know, but it just made me think, like, man, Warner Brothers has been in the animation game since like the 40s. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers can make up some constructs. But yeah, dude, I mean,
in like 7
other movies.
in like 7 minutes of footage in the Superman movie, Guy Gardner gave us like 5 or 6 different constructs there as well.
Yeah. But for me, like, Warner Brothers owns Pacific Rim. Like, I'm sure Kyle's seen Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Grab those assets.
Turn them green, make them a little translucent.
Maybe add some arms or antenna or something to make it somewhat different. But
yeah,
like, listen, like, that's what I think they should be doing with constructs for lanterns anyway. Like, they have CGI shit for like every single Warner Brothers movie. Go get all the assets, turn them green. Do it. Like I can't even think of like even like you can make, like, I'm sure there's a CGI David Corn Sweat that they use in the Superman movie.
Yeah.
Like, if Guy Gardner wants to make a Superman construct, they have that asset and they can make him like pick his nose, because that's something Guy would do.
Yep.
Like everything. I want the team over at Lanterns to contact every single VFX facility, every single movie production that has any assets whatsoever at all. Any sort of thing that you can make. If there's a movie with a microwave that dances, go grab that microwave. I don't know. Just start using every single Warner Brothers asset that you have in their CG library and turn them into constructs. Let's go.
Yep.
We have someone new too. Pad PR also recently started the Jeremy Adams GL run and read the first 2 issues. It's been nice.
Yep.
I agree. Hopefully we're not spoiling. It's so fun. It's such a fun book.
Yeah, and stick with it. There's a couple, not hiccups, but Jeremy had to work around like Night Terrors early on. So you're about to hit those issues where if you don't pick up the 2 Night Terror issues that came out to go along with the GL issues, there may be a little bit of confusion going on there. But I think Jeremy's done just a great job navigating all of those extra side steps he's got to take to handle the larger DC story that they're telling as a group, and then get back to what this run is supposed to be. And
I don't think he's had to deal with a crossover event since he started doing Starbreaker story.
Yeah, it's been just this regular, him being able to tell the story he wants to tell for now.
Yeah,
which is great.
We got a little bit of Simon Baz. We got like a page.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice. Again, he's able to like fold these things in, which is great because we've been seeing it since day one that it's nice that he hasn't just like pushed any characters aside. Also, he's really good about packing in a lot of information into like one page. I think the last crossover they did where it was like Alan Scott and Amazo and Carol's story, and there was like a couple pages of Nathan, and like that's the fun stuff, is where he can like, hey, listen, if there's Simon Baz fans out there, like he's still important to Green Lantern, the main book. He's not just relegated to Green Lantern Corps. Granted, it's only a page, but it's a minor part of the story. But I think it's a really important part of the story, where Simon and Kelly is now clearly has Ellie Mae in her head.
Something has taken over her where she is not herself. I think she even says like Kelly's not here right now. Trying to scroll back up to where that point was.
Here's a good comment, by the way, from Mr. Keith. Kyle Rayner could remake Space Jam from memory. Dude.
Absolutely.
All those Warner Brothers assets.
Come on.
Yeah. I love that.
Kelly's sitting there at the table working on something, saying that all these other people, they're fools. And that's when Simon sees her, and he's like, Kelly, what's going on? And her eyes light up. I think green. It's hard to really tell. But she said, Kelly isn't here right now, but you are. And she lunges at Simon. They're about to get into a fight. So obviously that's going to be something else that they pick up probably in the next issue, or the GL Core issue that's coming up.
Is it Ellie Ellie Rose, right?
That was in her head.
Yeah, is she corrupted? Did she stay in there too long?
She went to open the door inside of her mind,
Right.
and then we don't know.
Okay, so clearly something sinister is going on with that character. So even though she's not seen, it's implied that we can fill the gaps, and that's what's going on with her. Cool.
Yep. So the boys start slicing off the hands of these Starbreakers, and then they go to flee to go back to their gray battery, and that's when Kilowog's like, "Don't let them get away. Let's get after them." And now Hal gets to be smart, and he's like, "No, like we want them to get away a little bit. We can get on them real quick.
Yeah,
we want to follow them back to their battery. So ideally, they can destroy the gray battery and restore the emotional spectrum to what it is supposed to be. And then you'll have that's got to obviously be a big battle because the Starbreakers aren't going to want to give up their power, their lantern, and also." Now we have all the entities on this side of the source wall, along with our heroes. What's going to happen when they're no longer needed for this specific fight? What's going to happen then? Like, there's a lot of questions to be asked for the next couple issues.
Right. They're going in batteries. Whose battery, and what does that mean for everybody?
Next, the Lanterns take on the Starbreaker Corps on their home turf in Green Lantern Corps number 8.
Yeah, which I'll be covering in 2 weeks. I think that's September 10th with Vactor.
Yep.
Vactor, he said if his voice is back. I guess he's still
prayers up it will be.
Yeah. Pat PR asks, do you guys think we might get a prequel GL movie based on Hal Jordan in the 80s? A lot of people have been saying, like, with Kyle Chandler being an age, he's like 60, they're kind of upset that we won't see Hal Jordan in his prime. A lot of people speculate that maybe we will. Maybe we'll get some flashback stories with a different actor, which I think would be fine. But I don't know. I mean, listen, I'll take any Green Lantern stuff that they want to do.
I think that they have the ability. Let's say Lanterns does really well. Let's say it's a hit like Peacemaker, like the Penguin show.
Yeah.
If they're making this with the idea, the intention, that the show is going to be like True Detective. Well, each season of True Detective isn't a follow-up to the previous season of True Detective. They take they take shape in different, sometimes like different eras or not timelines, but like different eras, and it's always different people. I think if there is a positive reaction to Hal Jordan and Lanterns in general for the show, and fans show that there's an appetite for it, you could see maybe season 2 or maybe season 3 of Lanterns is, maybe season 2 they do like Kyle Rayner and Joe, or, 2 other people, Kyle and John, and then season 3, because people were like, oh, well, we really liked what Hal was in season 1, maybe they bring in Hal and we show him, when he's younger, maybe more in his heyday, showing us some of like the great feats that he was able to accomplish. Like there's room for them to do their thing in different timelines while still being part of the greater DCU.
The version of Lanterns that was being reported on before Tom King came on and before Chris Mundy and Damon Lindelof, that was kind of the concept, was they were doing more of an anthology, because they had cast an Alan Scott, they had cast a Guy Gardner, and I think they had mentioned there may have been like a Jessica Cruz as well.
They were going to hit everything.
They wanted to keep Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart for a movie.
Yeah.
So that was the plan for that. Now, who's to say if they're like, well, instead of making the Hal and John movie, let's turn that into the TV show, and then we could bring in the other people later. It'll be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. I'd love to get like Tom King in here, because it sounds like he's mostly running the show with Chris Mundy, and Damon Lindelof's overseeing kind of the inner work. He's doing the show running. It'll be really interesting to talk to them once Lanterns comes out and sees if there any of the older versions of the Lanterns happens like that was held over into this new series.
So, if for those listening, if you're interested in knowing, like, literally everything that ever came out for the original GL show that was going to be on HBO Max before James Gunn took over, I just put a link in the chat, or you can go to my channel, type in, or if you just go on Google, say the history of Green Lantern series on HBO Max, my video will come up. I'm not pitching you to watch the video. Click on the description. I have the links to all of those articles in chronological order for when they came out, whether it was a podcast or it was a leak on the Illuminati for Jessica and Simon's descriptions, or Guy and Alan's descriptions. Before, at one point, there was even a Jessica Cruz audition tape. There was an Alan Scott audition tape. All that, there's links to all of it through the description of that video. They were trying to do so much for that show. And yeah, at one point they had even discussed, like, showing us sets of lanterns, 2 based in our current timeline, 2 based, 10, 15 years ago, and then Alan Scott and whoever was going to be partnered with Alan was going to be based like 50, 60 years ago. And you would see all 3 of these stories playing out at the same time in their different eras before things, I think, would, in like the end of that season, would just start focusing on just one of those groups. And then the rest of the show would like be about those. But like they had some wild ambitions for what they were going to try with that show. I don't know how practical it was from like a financial standpoint, because the stuff that they were talking about, if they could have pulled it off, would have been absolutely bonkers. But
yeah, and I think they were talking about how at the time it was like the highest budgeted show, like in their history, in HBO history. And so, like, if they're willing to put this sort of money into it, like, oh, man, dude, I'm really excited for Lanterns, because that wasn't even like Chris Mundy and Damon Lindelof at the time. Like, those dudes make good shows. That was like pre-Watchmen, I believe. And so now, like, if you give that money to these guys, like, let's go.
Yeah, Guggenheim said that their intent was they wanted to... what was the quote? It was like they want to write the show for TV where each episode makes sense as its own episode, but it still makes sense being told like a long-form story over 8 hours, but they wanted it produced with the budget of a movie.
Yeah. Get those Space Jam characters in there.
Just get them all.
Pad PR says, last question. I mean, you can add more if you want. Asking our top 3 favorite Earth Lanterns.
Number 1, Kyle Rayner.
we agree on that one. We agree on that one.
All right, who's your 2?
So my number 2 is Hal Jordan.
Okay.
I love Hal. My number 3 might surprise you. Jessica Cruz.
Okay, two for me is also Hal.
Okay.
But 3 for me is John. I say that also, but this is all mostly based on comics.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean,
Getting to see Guy in the Superman movie, Guy, for me, just my personal thing, was very low on the totem pole. And the more I see of him, it makes me like think about the comics I've read with him in even better light, which I guess is like the really coolest thing that could have come from the movie, is when you're going back and thinking about what they've come from, the material that they were based off of and all that. You reread those, or you buy more comics that he's in now, but it just made me appreciate Guy more.
It's funny because Guy Gardner in the comic books, he's such a cartoon, and because he's drawn, you just think of Guy as a cartoon, not a real person. Seeing Guy Gardner in sort of real life,
yes,
completely changes your perspective on it, because you're like, oh, like Guy can be like a real person.
Yep.
And it's like, oh yeah, so he feels less like a cartoon when I read him, especially now. Like when I read this issue, like reading Guy felt different.
Yeah. I just think also, like, James just did such a great job of, like, by the end of the Superman movie, when he refers to himself as the Upgrade, you would think
Yeah.
What a ridiculous thing for somebody to say, but it fits perfectly within Guy's character. And in movie, in universe, he 100% believes it too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the reason for the bowl cut too. That's what, like, I was watching an interview with Nathan Fillion, of course, because I always am going to do that now. But he said, like, the bowl cut, it might have been actually, there's a great featurette that Warner Brothers Entertainment released on their YouTube channel, all about the Justice Gang. There's a good, like, 2 or 3 minute chunk on just Guy Gardner, and it's so good. But he says at one point somewhere that only a person with this kind of haircut would be as confident as Guy. Like, Guy is so confident, he doesn't even he's like, oh, whatever. Like, he's not really like anybody who's self-conscious would not get that haircut.
Yep.
But he's so confident in his old stuff, he's like, I don't care.
You'd have to be young, and maybe you would have had it. David Cornsweat, during that clip, talks about how he had it when he was younger. When I was like 11 or 12, I had the bowl cut. Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny that David Cornsweat in that discussion with Nathan Fillion about the bowl cut and him having the bowl cut, he's rocking the Ultraman wig.
Yeah.
And he looks like a hobbit. He looks
completely different person.
Right? He looks like he could be Frodo.
Yeah.
With that hair. Pat says his personal favorite is he grew up with Green Lantern, the animated series.
Yeah.
Holy crap, you're like a kid.
So John.
I grew up with Super Friends. But like Kyle Rayner came out around the like formative comic book reading years when I was like really getting into comics, and I was around high school age. And so there was something that I really just connected with Kyle, because at the time it was like just before like Justice League animated series started up, and so I didn't really watch that. I'm trying to get into it. I'm really not into animated shows that much, but yeah. So like Kyle just kind of became my guy, because that's when I was really like getting into Green Lantern. Like, I just liked the character, the idea, when I was a kid watching Super Friends. But there's a good maybe 10 years or maybe 7 years when I was a kid where I didn't read comics. It wasn't until 1990 when I was 13, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get comics. And Green Lantern issue 1 was on there, and I'm like, I'm perfect, I'll get that. And on that cover is Hal Jordan, who looks like he's in his 60s. Just saying. You have Jon Stewart and you have Guy Gardner. So like that's such a great cover. Like, Broderick's art on that is so fucking good.
I'm not sure if PR is caught up on this run, but if you are a fan of Green Lantern the animated series, there's a bunch of Easter eggs throughout that have been littered in these comics. And big moments for characters that you probably enjoy from Green Lantern the animated series.
I mean, I'll just say it. If you're only in the 2 issues in, I think maybe by the next issue or the issue after that, you're gonna get Razor. I'll say it. You're gonna get Razor. So yeah. Highly recommend this book. I'm glad that they're enjoying it. It's definitely good. We've been chatting for over an hour.
Woo!
Time flies. I just want to, before we go and do your plugs, remind everybody tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be on live with the writer of this current run of Green Lantern and the co-writer of Green Lantern Corps, a writer of 2 episodes of Green Lantern the animated series, Blue Hope and Scarred, which I have so many questions about, because that's where we learn that Aya has living ion material in her, and that's where the Blue Hope is the first time we see the Manhunters detect emotions from Aya. Like, these are like very seminal moments for the character of Aya, and I can't wait to pick his brain on that. So definitely come here tomorrow. Same Lantern time, same Lantern channel, and come watch me chat with Jeremy Adams and join the chat in the chat. So, Will, where can we find you? And do you have anything coming up on your slate?
Yep, have a bunch of reviews coming out. What I think I'm going to try to do is, now that Shorts allows you to go 3 minutes, I think I'm going to try to give like Justice League Red, Green Lantern Dark, those types of comics when they drop. I think I'm going to try to do under 3 minute reviews for them without spoiling too much of the comics, giving like my general gist of how I feel about them. Outside of that, you can go to greenlanternspodcast.com and all of my links are there, whether it's to my YouTube channel, TikTok, Threads, whatever. It's all there, easy to click on. I recently did hit 2,000 subscribers on
Congrats,
YouTube.
I forgot to mention it. I was going to mention it.
But
yeah,
just a huge shout out to everybody who's come over that way. And even since then, I think I've got like 15 new subscribers just based off of people like you and Chad sharing the love on social media. Like, I really do appreciate this fandom. I know in a lot of places it can get very competitive and people don't like working together, and it's been an absolute blast, like working with those guys on GL June, working with you whenever there's a new GL issue dropping. Like, I didn't think I'd be in my late 30s getting to enjoy all this nerd time with online friends. You guys have been great. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, congrats, and make sure you're diligent when you get around like the 2814 followers to hit that screenshot. That's one thing that I was waiting for. I was like, okay,
good call.
At 2,000. So just okay. Once I get it to 2,100, like just really focus.
Just refresh every minute.
Wait to hit that thing, and I hit it. I was so excited. I think I was like sitting in bed and I was just like, refresh. Like, come on, I just need one more person. And I hit that 2814, boom, screenshot, went to bed.
I'll end up like posting a short and it'll go to bed, and then I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have gone like way over the 2814.
Careful. Like really,
son of a
really, like really wait for it. Cause I was really like, I'm like, I want to get this. If I don't, I'm like, I'm going to Photoshop it, but that's not fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, dude, like congrats. It's awesome. The Green Lantern YouTube community has been great. I found a new Green Lantern channel. It's really fun. It's Lanterns TV Talk. So follow at Lanterns TV Talk. It sounds like they're ramping up to just cover the Lantern show. So they're fairly new. They've been around, I think, a couple months. Maybe I'll have them on to do like a spotlight. But yeah, check it out. It's another Lanterns show out there. Somebody on one of my shorts today said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe there's a channel dedicated to like Green Lantern." I'm like, there's a bunch of us, but I'm glad that you found me. And yeah. And Pat is a big fan. It says, "Beware my power, Green Lanterns might." Well, you know what I say.
Mm-hmm. Hit him.
Beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Life. Bye, everybody. See you next time.